Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports, sharing my collection. This is a video to show you some part of my collection that I really enjoy collecting, and we're just going to jump right into this, and that is my collection of my old album here from the 80s. Oversized sports cards. So as you can see, this is the 1986 Topps 5x7 Jumbo issue, and Mr. Spaceman Bill Lee is going to be part of this video as well, just to show you the size on this 1980 Topps in comparison to the size of these cards. Because I know sometimes when you're looking at stuff on camera, you can't really get the full depth of what you're looking at. So I'm just going to flip through these. I kind of have separated these by, I don't want to say genre, but I've separated them by sport, but I've also separated them by type, Topps, Donruss, etc. So we're going to jump right in. So before I go any further, I would say this is about 50, well, maybe 50, 25, 25. Half of these I've gotten in person. I would say 25% I've gotten through the mail, or doing a deal with somebody to get it signed for me through the mail, meaning I do a 50-50 or something like that. And I would say another 25% are purchases that I've made throughout the years. I've been collecting these for a while, so occasionally I go on an eBay binge and just buy a lot of these at one time and get, 5, 10, 15 of them at a time. Now obviously if I have any control, I get them signed in blue Sharpie, but this Brett Butler, for example, I got through the mail, can't really control what he signed it in. So I'm just going to flip through these and kind of show them off to you, and we'll talk about a few of them. So there's some Twins greats, Bert Blyleven, Tom Berdansky. I want to make sure you can see the names. And that's an 85 Topps Jumbo. These were both acquired. I want to say I got one through the mail and one in a lot, which I purchased a bunch of these. These I both acquired in person, Vince Coleman. This is an 89 Donruss Jumbo. And again, as you can tell, a lot bigger than a regular card. But 89 Donruss Diamond Kings Jumbo is what we'll call that one. These Willie McGee's I obtained in person, his Diamond King and his Topps. Tommy Herr, I got both of these signed in person at a card show. For a real affordable rate, we're talking like $5. I mean, they were really cheap. There's his 90 Donruss. And I left the page open in case I see him again for another one. Jack Clark, I want to say I got both of these signed in person. As you can tell, I kind of got a lot of Cardinals here. These are a little different. This is actually a Topps Archives from, just like last year or whatever. And this is a Zenith from, I want to say, 97? I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head, but that's a 90s Zenith, whatever. And I got both of these signed in person. One was a Angels and one was a Cardinal. So again, Cardinal theme there. These are some newer ones that I also got signed in person. Colton Wong and Greg Holland. As you can see, those are just newer versions of 2016 Topps and 2015 Topps. Now to the Cubs, but he's technically a Cardinal too. This is Hall of Famer Lee Smith. I got one of these signed in person, and I think my father got another one signed for me. Or actually, there's the third one. So I got one of these three signed. I don't remember how I think my dad might have got the other two signed. This is a Pedro Guerrero, and this is the 84 supersized. I bought this one in a lot. As you can see, that's kind of a messy Sharpie pen thing. I don't know what that was signed in. Jay Howell I got through the mail. Dale Murphy I picked up in a lot. Ozzie Guillen, Dave Stieb were both purchased. Juan Samuel I got on 2 occasions. Actually, I think one was signed through the mail, one was in that lot. So 85, Dr. K himself, Jesse Orozco, those came in the lot, so the Mets fans, you might appreciate that one. Mario Soto, Gary Matthews were in that lot that I bought. Soto's not the easiest to track down because of where he's from. Both of the Garveys I purchased at separate times, so one in blue, one in black. Rich Gossage was in that lot, and that was before he was a Hall of Famer, when he was a little easier to get. Kent Herbick on an 85. Mets fans, there's a nice Darryl Strawberry. It's not the best Sharpie that was used, kind of like the Dave Parker here. It's very light, but that's a nice Strawberry autograph. Very rarely do you see him write out his full name, so that, his last name I should say. So if you call that writing it out, now you barely get an S and a swoosh, you know, with his autograph. So that this one probably was signed back in the 80s sometime. And I really wish that Dave Parker looked better than it did, but it doesn't. You know, it's life. Here's Harold Baines. This one was picked up in that lot, and this one was signed in person. Both of these were signed before he was a Hall of Famer, but as you can see, his in-person autograph, his free one, has changed quite a bit from his playing days. So this one, not as pretty as that one for sure. Oh, here's some more Juan Samuels. Again, I probably sent these with the, I should put those together. That doesn't make sense. Now we're going to need into the Donruss versions of the cards. And again, I bought a lot of these in a lot. So these are 87 Donruss Super Diamond Kings. Keith Moreland and Steve Sachs. There's Charlie Huff. I've gotten him twice. Or I got him to sign these both, I think, in one mailing. There's Will Clark. I sent that through the mail. Again, my favorite player. Very nice blue Sharpie. There's a Fred McGriff on a really nice Fred McGriff autograph, who should be a Hall of Famer in my opinion. But I picked that up. I did not get that in person. As messy as they seem, they're both kind of messy. One of these I got in a lot. The other one I got signed in person. The one that's a little more sloppier, I mean, they're both sloppy, but this one was the in-person one, and this one I bought, and this one has a nice crease right there, so that's how I know the difference. But Pete Incaviglia, or Anky. Here's Ruben Sierra, Ellis Burks. Going backwards here in time, these are 86s. Bob Boone and Bill Doran. I purchased both of those. The Seitzer, I got one in person, and I got that one through the mail, or not through the mail, but I bought that one. But that one I got in person at a signing in Kansas City. Bob Brenly, Claudell Washington, I purchased those. And I believe this is the first year they made the Super Diamond Kings. This is the very first year they made them. One of these somebody got signed for me. I can't remember if it was that one or that one, but I 50-50'd somebody to get those, one of those two. The other one I bought. Marshall, I got both of these signed in person. Charlie Lee and Jose Cruz I purchased. Frank Tanana I sent through the mail. Doug DeCensus I believe I sent through the mail. Greg Walker, I got somebody to get for me. Hojo, I got signed in person, and he gave me his full Howard Hojo Johnson autograph. Sometimes Hojo gives you an abbreviated autograph in person, but he gave me the full, nice, big signature on that one. These two I farmed out to get signed. Somebody got the Fletcher and the Snyder signed for me. Bought both of these, Devon White and Benito Santiago. Purchased both of these, the Kuzman and the Lopes. Kuzman is one of the most underrated pitchers from that era. I mean, I cannot go on. He should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's one of the best pitchers. Him and Jim Cott, I cannot believe are in the Hall of Fame. That's just my opinion. I mean, Kuzman's always known as the other guy on Nolan Ryan's baseball card, rookie card. Here's a couple. Ramon Martinez, it's in black, but whatever. Rick Mailer, he has passed away. I purchased this before he passed away. Now here's a couple more of those Zeniths. I got these signed in person. Abraham Nunez, he was a coach that I saw recently. Derek Lee, I saw at a thing up in Illinois a couple years ago. Aramis Ramirez was in attendance at that, and this is the Wrigley Field 100 Years set. This is unfortunately not the best card because it's just got this blue background. He signed over the blue, but I don't really know other than maybe down here where else he would have signed. This Omar Vizquel, I've actually shown that one in a video. Somebody got that for me. I'm very thankful for that. Kent Tekulve I got at a card show. Belliard, I've shown that one before. Got that in person. Now we're getting into the ones that you guys have probably already seen, because I know I've shared these on other videos, but I don't know how complete they were at the time when I shared them. This is the Seattle Mariners talent pipeline with Kyle Lewis, Braden Bishop, and Max Povsey. Both Bishop and Lewis played in the majors last year. Povsey was out for the entire season, so I'm not really sure where he's at in the Seattle plans in the future. Maybe somebody from Seattle that's a fan could let me in on that. This one, Jake Berger and Gavin Sheets. I got somebody to get the Gavin Sheets for me, and this one is only numbered to 10. And I saw Jake Berger in person. He played locally at a college. So he was very impressed that I had Gavin already on there. He's like, how'd you get that? I said, I sent it to somebody in Winston-Salem, and they got it signed for me. This one I've shown before. This one has JB Bukakis, hopefully I'm saying that, Bukakis and Corbin Martin. I got both of these signed in person. Ironically, they both got traded to the Arizona Diamondbacks. So this card, a 1 of 10, they're not going to be Astros because they're gone. This is top pitching prospect Forrest Whitley. I got that in person. Here's a couple more guys that I got that came through the Texas League. Hudson Potts, who's a very good third baseman. Unfortunately, because of Manny Machado, I don't know where he's going to go at the major league level with the Padres, so maybe he'll get dealt somewhere and get his opportunity. DJ Peters, guy's a massive dude. I want to say he's like 6'7" or something like that. He's a tall guy. I remember that. 6'6". Yeah, DJ Peters is 6'6". He's got a lot of power. I watched him play the last couple years in the Texas League. He's just got to cut down on his strikeouts, but I think if he can cut down on the strikeouts, he's actually a pretty good fielder for a big guy, being 6'6". But, we'll see what this season brings for him in 2020, because he'll most likely be in AAA, maybe even the majors for the Dodgers, depending on how that goes. The next one, this one's pretty exciting. I got this one. This is probably the most recent ones I got signed. This is Brady Singer and Jackson Cower on the franchise futures for the Royals. And this is a single Brady Singer one. I got those all signed in person this past baseball season. This is probably the most recent one I got. And this is a Matt Carpenter. Oversized 5x7. I'm not really sure what year that is. Have to look on the back there. 2017. He was coming through town on a rehab assignment, and he got him to sign that at the stadium, which is pretty cool. So this is actually a first for me as well. I'm sharing with you some in-person autographs. A lot of people have made comments to me before, like, oh, you should share your in-person stuff. Well, here you go. This is part of them. So moving on. I left some pages for growth, as you can see there. This next section, and this is kind of hard to see, but this is somebody that promotes, is the agent for Amos Otis, who's not shown on there, and Hal McRae and Frank White and Crown whatever. This Eric Hosmer is not actually autographed. That's just a baseball that they, photoshopped on there. But if you look really close here in black, those are actually signed by Frank White. And I got a few of these while I was at a event in Kansas City, actually. And this one if you look underneath the helmet, is Amos Otis, actually signed. So, now we're getting into the older stuff. These are the Topps issues from the early 80s, late 70s. This is actually a Jackie Joyner Kersey autograph that I picked up at the flea market or something. I don't remember, but I paid like $1 for that or something. It was really dirt cheap. And she's from the St. Louis area, and that's where I picked it up, so I believe it to be real. Plus, I've gotten her in person before. Here's a couple more. A Cecil Cooper and a Keith Hernandez. And Cecil has been known to personalize things, you know, that are sent to him in the mail. And if you look really closely, somebody tried to erase it. And I didn't know that when I bought it, because to me that's like damaging the autograph. I'd rather just you leave it on there. If it says to Jeff, whatever, I don't care. You know, to me, you're damaging the card by trying to remove that just so you can sell it. But whatever. I didn't pay much for it. Okay, the next one, Ted Simmons. I picked these up in person. Right after I got these signed, I found his Cardinals version of this, and it just, that bothered me. I'm like, darn it, I wish I could have got the Cardinals version signed, but I'll take the Brewers. You know, if you look at his career numbers, you know, for catchers, he was a beast. You know, there are people that are in the Hall of Fame that have less numbers than he does, you know, at the position of catcher. So maybe, hopefully someday, Simmons will get in. Here's just some random hodgepodge stuff. These are the authentic Donruss Studio cards from, you know, the early 2000s. I have a couple more of these, but I don't have them in my album for whatever reason, because I know I have them in like oversized top loaders. But I have a Vlad Guerrero Sr., Alfonso Soriano, I want to say maybe a Sean Casey, if I'm not mistaken. This is a Ryan Quesco signed 98 Topps Chrome. This is a awesome deal that I got here. These are Bill Walton signed oversized cards, and you can see I got like 5 of them, and I paid like next to nothing for them. I'm talking like $3 a piece or something, and I was like, well, I'll take 5 of them for that price. This is a Joe Torre that I actually found for like $1 at a flea market once. It's personalized to somebody, Jim. So anybody named Jim, I guess, if you want to trade for that. This is, I hope I skipped one. This is 1960s Pirates, and I've mentioned that I like collecting for them, and this is the 60 Pirates team with Elroy Face. I got that in person. I got Bill Verdon in person, and I got Bob Friend through the mail before he passed away. Additionally, this is where the Pirates used to play, and I got Bill Verdon to sign that in person. Not Elroy Face, though. Didn't have enough money. This is not signed by Bob Oliver, but I'm getting around to maybe sending that to him. That is a team issue thing that they sent out. This is a Solly Hemus team issue that I got signed before he passed away, the manager of the Cardinals. This is a Lee Smith. I think I can turn it back this way. This is a freebie Lee Smith that was given away at some promotion that he was doing by General Mills. My dad actually got that for me. Here's some team-issued cards from the Pirates. A couple Bill Verdons, Mike Lincoln, Kent Tekulve again. I bought all those in a lot, basically. This is Chuck Dobson. He was also at that thing in Kansas City, a reunion. On the reverse, we got Ed Hearn, who was at it. Another Pirates thing. Here's a couple Phillies versions. Hal Lanier I got in person. Those 2 I bought. Kenny Howell, who has passed away since. A couple more Phillies. Brett Myers on a couple. He was supposed to be a big deal, but never really panned out. Sean Wooten I got in person. Greg Hibbard on some photo cards from the 80s. I don't really, you can see they're just postcards. This is a photocopy of a card. It's nothing special, but it is signed Floyd Bannister. Here's an Andy Bennis that was given away at that same thing that Lee Smith was at. Marty Turco. Somebody sent that to me, along with the soccer player. Somebody that's also a TTM autographer. So, and in the back here, there's just some random Football Hall of Fame reproduction, or whatever you want to call them, from the 2000s. So, all in all, that's my collection. I really enjoy, let me kind of go back here, and I really enjoy collecting the oversized cards. As you can see, got quite a collection amassed here, and I just thought I'd share them with you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of me showing off my collection, and as always, happy collecting.